Hey everyone, today is going to be the first of a series of videos about the Azathoth Expansion. In this video, I'm going to be going specifically about Azathoth himself, ways to win with him, ways to, what you should be worried about with him, and some of the tactics and odds of controlling him or not controlling him. So get ready to go a little insane. Try not to wake the mad god as we explore Azathoth. All right, guys. So I wanted to finish Sleeper and Windwalker before I started on the independent expansion boxes, but the reality is that the country Peterson Games doesn't have anymore. They were going to help me out. I talked to Sandy about it. It was all good, but they've got to wait for them too. So we are out of luck for a couple months. I know some of you said it would be cool if I covered it with stand-ins or something. Some of you said you'd prefer for me to wait. So here we go. Azathoth. Okay, so this is how I'm doing it. Each video is going to be short and focused on one aspect of the Azathoth expansion. This one's going to be a little bit longer, and the rest of them I'm just going to assume that you know what's going on. But you don't have to play with all of the rules of the Azathoth expansion. And in fact, I think you're supposed to play with a number of independent components equal to the number of players -1 or the number of players +1. So at any rate, you're not going to be playing with all of it every time. So my idea here is I will do a video for each, and you can watch the ones you care about or interested in or plan on using. You guys might do random. Personally, I plan out which components I'm adding to Cthulhu Wars. It's so big, and I like to make sure that the game feels good. And to me, random doesn't feel good as much as he's the chaos god. So, okay. All right. So Azathoth, he's a independent great old one. And so the way that works is you meet some condition to summon him, and you take him and you take his card. It doesn't have his spellbook yet, and you now have control of him. So in this case, if you control Azathoth and you can control him, he appears on your gate, and now he rampages around for a while. In this case, this great old one, longer than most great old ones. So I think he's got a lot of staying power, and that's nice because you're not gonna lose him right away, not normally. And once you do lose him, if you had earned the spellbook, doesn't matter because it falls off and it goes back, and now somebody else can take control of him. So if you don't want somebody else to take control of him, you could just take control of him and kind of have him defend the gate or whatever. He's so powerful though that you're gonna want to rampage around Godzilla style, I think. But okay, let's talk about him a little bit more. So anybody can take him. You just have to have your great old one at your gate, right? So you have Cthulhu out, then okay, great. You can control, or you can summon Azathoth. Okay. You also have to have 8 power. Doesn't mean you're going to spend 8 power, but you have to have 8 power. So that's pretty interesting. If you have 8 power, you have your great old one, you can summon Azathoth. So how he works is you roll a d6, and I feel like only role players call dice d6. Is that true, guys? Are you a non-role player and you still call them d6? Post down below. All right, so you roll your d6, and boom, you add 2 to that value, and that's how much power you pay. So you may get him for 3 power. It'd be pretty amazing. You also might pay 8 power. I think it's still a good deal. I think it's very fair. Even in a worst case scenario, you're good. All right. So then this is where things start to get pretty weird. All enemy players choose and simultaneously reveal a die face. All right, so they can choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. They choose. It's not random. Each of the players all choose their result. Each of your opponents choose a die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. It's their choice. And they put up. So in this case, Cthulhu chooses 6. Crawling Chaos, Nyarlathotep, he chooses 5. And you take Azathoth's glyph. I have the plastic upgrade token, but otherwise it's a cardstock token. Perfectly fine quality. I'm a sucker for these things, so okay. So you put the glyph on 11, right? The combined score on the Doom track. And now Azathoth has a combat value equal to where it is on the track. Now, the reason why Cthulhu and Nyarlathotep might have given me a high powerful monster is because they're greedy. The player who revealed the highest, well, the player with the lowest score loses 2 Doom points. So Crawling Chaos would have lost 2 Doom points by having less than Cthulhu. Cthulhu doesn't care about fighting Azathoth, apparently. So Cthulhu gets 6 power. So does Crawling Chaos. He gets 5 power. So they get power equal to the die face. So they get rewarded for making their enemy more powerful. They get punished for not making their enemy powerful enough. If they had both chosen 6s, they both would have lost 2 Doom points. So for the cost of possibly as low as 3 Doom points, you are going to take a minimum of 2 Doom points from one enemy, possibly both. Number 2, you are going to risk giving them some power, but you're going to get a powerful monster out of this. I mean, this is a crazy powerful monster. And what's also very cool is if Azathoth is assigned a kill, you roll 1 die, and instead of him dying, you lower his marker by that much. So now he's a 9. Guys, I mean, come on. He's going to be around for a while. I mean, I rolled low, so he's going to be around for a long time. And how powerful he is not based off of some sort of roll. It's your enemies. So I think it's pretty cool the way they set it up. They are getting more powerful. They are going to summon some free monsters out of it. There's risk here. It's not an automatic thing. Okay, so how do you earn his spellbook? So Great Old Ones, independent Great Old Ones, they have a spellbook that they can summon. And in this case, it's called Nuclear Chaos. Action cost 0. Each player rolls 1d6. The player with the highest roll gains that much power. The players with the lowest roll gains that many Elder Signs. You may choose to add or subtract 1 to your die roll after seeing all results. Flip the spellbook face down. It cannot be used again this action phase. Okay, so let's just see how that. So you can use it once per turn, right? Okay, boom, boom, boom. All right, so in this case, I rolled a 3 for Shub-Niggurath. I have a choice. I could increase my 3 to a 4, and then that makes me tie with Cthulhu, which means that me and Cthulhu get 4 power. Or I could lower it to 2, which isn't enough to have the lowest. So Crawling Chaos is going to get 1 Elder Sign, which is the equivalent of like 1.5 Doom points. And me and Cthulhu are going to get 4 power. So it's our obligation to get at least 1 Doom point, preferably 2, to compete with the Doom points at Crawling Chaos with that 4 power. That should be like, that's how I think. Anyways, that's always how I think you should do it, is you should think, what am I going to do to compete like level for level? So if they get 2 Doom points, I want 2 Doom points, that kind of thing. All right. So the way you get the spellbook is if all players have at least 1 Great Old One in play. Okay. So in this case, now Azathoth's out. I actually need to have mine as well. So I would have to have, if Shub-Niggurath died, I'd have to resummon her before she can get her spellbook. But of course, once Azathoth's spellbook is out, then you're good. All right. So Nuclear Chaos, boom. Now it's out, and then every turn you can do this, this thing. And you have a little bit of control of whether you're going to get more Doom points via Elder Signs or more power. And it could go either way, right? All right. So who should get Azathoth? Well, it's pretty straightforward that Cthulhu always wants more Great Old Ones. Anytime, via the Immortal ability, anytime he awakens any Great Old One, gain 1 Elder Sign. So if you awaken Azathoth, in addition to taking away Elder Signs Doom points from your enemy, you also get an Elder Sign, which is worth 1.5 on average Doom points. So Cthulhu wants it. It's a bruiser. Cthulhu's really kind of a battle faction, so you're going to want him. Shub-Niggurath is, encouraged to spread. And what that often means is Shub-Niggurath has more monsters, and more monsters cheaper and faster, but she often struggles because she doesn't have armies. She tends to have a lot of single gates, and then uses her avatar ability to kind of hop around and kill things. So I think having Azathoth and I don't know why I put it way over there. Having Azathoth and having another big bruiser, I think that's gonna be pretty nice. His crawling chaos, his nuclear chaos power, I can see it fitting with crawling chaos quite a bit, I think. When you're really going with with crawling chaos or with Shub-Niggurath's Black Goat faction, I think I usually have more power than the other players with either of those 2 factions. So being able to possibly get a bunch of Elder Signs or just getting more power, either one, I think it's a win. I think it's good. Another thing about Shub-Niggurath is a big faction or a big tactic with Shub-Niggurath is to try to drag your feet as much as possible. So your goal there is at the end of the round, if you still have power with Shub-Niggurath, then you can avatar and really cause trouble without a lot of risk, because the problem is that she's a little expensive, and if she dies, everything you have becomes more expensive. So it can kind of snowball. So more zero cost actions like Nuclear Chaos can really help you delay even further. You do like 3 zero cost actions, and then everybody else is still forced to spend power every turn unless they have also zero cost actions. So with Shub-Niggurath, you're trying to get your ghouls dead, you're trying, because they cost 0 for you if you have Shiv Niggurath out, you use powers like Nuclear Chaos, and hopefully you're at the end of the round and you just avatar, and just kill things and take gates. Even if you don't take the gate and just make it unassigned, it's better than if they get to hold onto the gate, get doom points, and so on, right? Okay. Yellow sign. I don't see much value for me with yellow sign. I mean, everybody wants a big tough monster, but at the cost of other people possibly getting power. I don't know if it's good for yellow sign. Personally, when I'm playing yellow sign, I'm not looking at Azathoth as a thing to help me. It's just not me. I'd rather spend that. Personally, for yellow sign, I would rather spend that excess power, right? I mean, because you're basically saying I had excess power, up to 8 excess power this turn. I would rather spend that on a Ritual of Annihilation and use the fact that I start with 2 Great Old Ones, period, 2 Great Old Ones. So I get 2 elder signs that way. A component there too is that independent Great Old Ones do not give you Elder Signs when you do Rituals of Annihilation. So with Yellow Sign, you get 2 Elder Signs for having Hastur and the King in Yellow out. Azathoth doesn't help you do that. So, yeah. Chocho can really use it because when you have a big monster like Ubosathla, right, very high combat dice, the last thing you really want is another big bruiser on the board. You want to have the most powerful Great Old Ones. So you might just want to take him so that nobody else has him. And especially with the new balance changes on the Chocho, you can't turtle as much as you could before. I swear, like they released an update like the same week that I did my video. Sorry guys. They changed some of the rules, and now you just can't turtle as much. So having another big monster to kind of like, he doesn't have any movement power, right? He doesn't have any travel power. That's the problem. But you still with slowly, Chocho's slow. They're not allowed to turtle, but they're allowed to snail. So you just slowly move your big, giant, massive monsters and just kill everything. And the nice thing there is that they already have the High Priest being able to take kills. Now they also have another big monster who can take kills. So sure, it's nice to have an 11 combat power Azathoth, but you might have a 13 or 14 combat power Ubosathla. If your game runs long, or you roll better than me, then you could totally use Azathoth to just absorb kills. You don't even have to use Nuclear Chaos if you don't want to give other people the risk of giving them power. Okay, just be a big bruiser. Cool. If you're losing, I think you might as well do Nuclear Chaos though. I mean, if you're losing, do it, because you might get a bunch of Elder Signs out of it. The perfect scenario is somehow your enemies roll, maybe all 3 of you roll 6s, right? You all roll 6s. And that should mean all 3 of you get 6 power. But personally, I would lower my 6, right? You get to plus or minus. You could go up to 7, I guess. You could go up to 7 and get 7 power. But then that gives everybody else 5 Elder Signs. I would go down to 5 and get 5 Elder Signs. That's the equivalent of about 8 Doom points. You could just win the game right there, just one go. So if you're losing with, but you have Azathoth, Nuclear Chaos can make a lot of sense. Crawling Chaos. Yeah, I already said I think Nuclear Chaos goes well with with Thousand Forms. So right, that's where Nyarlathotep makes like a deal, and he gets power, or everybody else chooses to lose that much power, that kind of thing. I think Nuclear Chaos matches that. Be careful though, don't use Nuclear Chaos if it has the risk of putting somebody back in the match. I don't think, if they have 0 power, you don't want them to have the option to get 6 power suddenly. Because if they're 0 power before you, chances are they're really built up for the next turn, but you might move that next turn to this turn. All right, guys. So if you have had an amazing Azathoth experience where he turned the tide and you won because of it, post down below. Also, if you lost the game because you summoned Azathoth, post down below. It has not happened to me yet that I have given my enemies 6 power and suddenly lost a bunch of gates or something. It hasn't happened yet, but it's a worry. This is the Chaos God. So yeah. Till next time, guys.